That's a weird, because I'm looking at the sound wave, so I can tell that the latter half of that odd grunt that I made, that's how this podcast begins.
Welcome to a very grunty grindhouse movie club, where we examine movies and drink coffee and grunt like grown men who have to bend down to pick things up.
Mm-hmm. Or sit in a really deep chair.
Yeah, that is a really deep chair. It's hard to get out of. That's how it's been described.
Yeah, this couch that I'm sitting on is quite soft and comfortable, but I feel like I'm sinking into it.
It's also like 2 inches too short to be comfortable to lay in for me. If it was a little longer, my legs could at least hook over the edge comfortably. Like, it's a love seat. You're not supposed to lay on it. It's not for the act of love. That's not why they call it that.
Well, it's the same time, though, because it's so short, you have no choice but to love if you have another person on it with you.
Right, and that's why you should never sit on a love seat unless
it's with somebody you trust.
Yeah, for real. Like, if you're visiting your lady's parents and they have a love seat, well, you don't want to sit on that with like the dad.
No.
That's
inviting way too many arm over the shoulder opportunities of like with heart to hearts where he asks just an uncomfortably intimate question about what about his daughter you know already.
Oof. Well, welcome to the podcast. I'm gonna remind you right off the bat because I've forgotten twice now. Go to darkroastcult.com to listen to the podcast.
That's where you go to listen to it at this juncture.
We're going to have some like fresh coffee and stuff on there to check out. Lots of pins. Sorry, I thought I heard my cat mucking about in the toilet.
It's not the toilet, it's a bowl.
Yeah, it's her water bowl. So she's mucking about in her water.
Yeah, which is, I guess, acceptable.
Yeah.
She really gets it. I think she's splashing as much as she's actually consuming.
To be honest, she might not even be consuming. I think she's just trying to get water out of the bowl.
She doesn't like when there's water in that bowl?
Apparently not. Well...
It's a great noise. Oh my God.
It's still happening.
I love this.
I heard that the other day and I'm like, oh, what is that sound? And then I like looked and the bathroom floor was soaked.
Yeah, well, that's literally happening right now as we speak.
Yeah.
She got right in there.
Oh boy, hold on. I'm gonna
no
put
two
a
ways
stop
about
to this.
that.
I'm gonna put a stop to this.
She just comes out shaking her one wet paw everywhere. Hey, you want some fucking water? Yeah.
I know what's going to happen, but I'm going to fill it up anyway.
I feel like this is a vicious circle.
It is. At least she didn't walk through the litter because she'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then she'll leave, like, cat footprints. And it's like Blue's Clues. Walking around, did the blind cat walk into the water and then the mud? She did. Where is she? Let's find her.
We don't need a lassie here. The tracks are clearly evident.
Oh, my God. Are they ever? So darkroastcult.com or .ca, it don't matter. It's the same website.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Good, you got both of them.
Go there, check it out. Use Dark Drip for a code if you're gonna check out a purchase. Or
Dark Drip sounds like an STD.
It does. It really does.
I got the Dark Drip.
I got it. And look, there's no end. There's no end.
No, you put a cream on once every 3 months for that.
You know, or a little bit of sugar too, if you want. We got a dark roast, and it'll be on the website soon. So
I'm bringing it back to the fact that it's coffee. I didn't even realize I made a pun, so I'm glad that you pointed it out.
That's what I'm here for. So this week we watched Color Out of Space.
Mm-hmm.
You had not seen it.
I hadn't.
What did you think?
Well, I watched it again. So if that answers your question.
Honestly, there's nothing to not love about it.
No, that's true. I had a couple of gripes with some CG, but they more than made up for it with the actual practical effects anyway, so I wasn't too upset.
Right, you can't practical effect everything.
No, as much as I wish you could. There are some things that like color.
Yeah, sorry.
You can't just... You need a computer for that.
I mean, they could have done like a mist machine and done like a spotlight on it, but that would look very hokey. In like,
it sure would.
Theater, public school production.
Yeah, you're turning it into a 1980s B movie at that point.
Movie super. It's like 100 years old now almost. The story it was like written.
Oh yeah. Ago. H.P. Lovecraft story originally.
Yeah,
and that guy was writing between the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Now he only lived to be about 40 years old, because, and Not 100%, but I believe he was gay, and people didn't like that.
Uh-oh.
And he was quite upset.
Uh-oh.
And also, I mean, if you read any of his books or see any of the movies they're based off of, you could tell that there was something going on under the hood with that man.
Well, I heard he had a fear of the ocean.
That makes sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
The second I see a jellyfish in my fucking shower, I'm like, I get it.
Speaking of, okay, so right off the bat, yeah, water jellyfish.
Yeah.
You see that. Do you pick it up?
No.
Do you pick it up or do you shuffle it with your foot?
Do you ever pick up a jellyfish?
I mean...
Unless the purpose is to be stung by a jellyfish that day.
Well, look, okay, so here's the thing. If I know I'm in a place where there's going to be jellyfish, I'm not going to touch them.
No.
Very curious about a jellyfish where there's not supposed to be a jellyfish. How did you get there? What's your story?
He felt dirty. I don't know, because he's in the shower. I certainly wouldn't be hazarding the chance that the jellyfish will wrap its tentacles around my whole ass hand.
Yeah, no.
That's horrifying. That's horrifying when you're naked in the shower.
Yeah, you don't want something like that happening to you while you're naked.
No, there's a very long list of things that you don't need when you don't have any clothes on. One of them is definitely a jellyfish.
Oh my god! All right, so I think something we didn't do in the last podcast was like give like a brief summary.
Okay.
Of the plot of the movie.
Right.
I think that might be important for people who want to listen but don't want to watch the movie.
Okay.
So what I did was I tried to summarize the movie in like 3 sentences or less.
Yep.
I think I got it. Hold on. Let me find it because it's good. It's I thought I did all right. When I find it here.
We're going to get you working for IMDb writing plot synopses after this if it's that good.
Oh, dude. Okay. So some stuff comes from outer space to change things up. Nicolas Cage doesn't handle it very well. That's the movie. That's the whole film right there. Now,
it's important to note that it's not like these things come from outer space and just do nothing.
Yeah, they're there to change it up.
Yeah.
They're switching it up on you.
The things that Nicolas Cage doesn't handle well in the movie are things that nobody would.
Well, but he does it with his own special, hey, I'm Nick Cage and I'm not handling this very well.
So I found out, I was looking up information about the movie, some of the things, trivia, whatnot, and found out that Richard Stanley, who is the director of the film,
absolutely,
and we've talked about Vampire's Kiss before.
Yes.
And it's very good. It's quite old now. I think it's late 70s. But it's one of those fucking Nicolas Cage movies.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, apparently, that's Richard Stanley's favorite Nicolas Cage movie. And so, as the director, once they started shooting, Richard Stanley was like, hey, do that.
Yes.
And
it comes out.
Oh, there's a couple times really early on, like when he's talking to his wife out front and he does his impression of his dad being like, I'll get the fuck out of my face. And he does the hand thing.
Yeah.
That is the Vampire's Kiss hand thing for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also in The Wicker Man. But like 2/3, when shit really starts to hit the fan for him, he's got that weird, gross skin.
Yeah.
Which it just looks like a wet fish.
It looks like reptile.
Yeah. Yes. That's where the Vampire's Kiss really starts to kick into high gear.
Yeah, he starts talking funny.
Yeah.
Not normal.
He does this accent, and I don't know what kind of accent it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I did pick up on that. I was like, oh, maybe that's like, oh, he's kind of like possessed by the color, I guess. But no, he's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
He just when he gets mad, he gets weird.
Exactly. That's his angry accent. It's like some weird combination of like British and New York.
Yeah. It's I read that. I also read that both Richard Stanley and Nicolas Cage have gone on a quest to find the Holy Grail. Not together, but like they've gone.
Separately, they both tried real hard to find that Grail.
So that's just a weird little fact.
That's bizarre. And then I don't know if you've seen what Richard Stanley looks like.
I have not.
But he looks like somebody you'd want on a quest to find the Holy Grail.
Oh, okay.
He dresses like like an adventurer into the dark side of existence. He's got this like black, I don't even know how to describe what kind of hat it is, because it's not a cowboy hat, but it's got a very wide brim.
Are we talking like the Undertaker?
Yeah, a little bit like the Undertaker's hat.
Okay.
The one picture that I saw, the first picture that I saw of him, he had like a giant walking stick and a black cloak, like he's the Grim Reaper.
He sounds like if Chris Angel was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate?
I would say so. I mean, I don't know how much magic he's doing. I don't know how many kids he's fooling into thinking he's walking on water. But if I saw him walking on water, I'd be like, that makes sense. Yeah. There was some weird stuff in the trivia page. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was like references. Like this movie's just jam packed full of references. And it's got plenty. Just fucking kids playing Universe Sandbox on his computer in one scene, which I own that game, so that was funny for me.
Yeah.
Fucking Francis Ford Coppola. This is Francis Ford Coppola or Coppola. I don't really know how to pronounce it. He is a filmmaker from quite some time ago. He made like the fucking Godfather and Apocalypse Now. What else do I have written down here? The 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. That's like widely regarded as the only good Dracula movie.
I haven't seen that one, but I will. Maybe it'll be on a list.
Neither have I. I understand it's probably pretty slow because it's from the 90s, but I've heard good things. Yeah. And yeah, he doesn't move fast. No, he's a decomposing vampire. You can't.
Yeah. Sunlight is not his friend, so
no,
he doesn't have that vitamin D in his system to really give him that pep in his step.
Interesting correlation there. Sunlight's not the friend of these fucking monsters when they start turning into monsters either in this movie. No. They don't like the light at all, which
is weird because like it's just light.
It's made of light. There's plenty of light.
Well, they're gray. They're very gray. So it's probably cooking them.
Yeah,
it's like that's too much light to handle.
And like I don't know what. Ew. Mm-hmm. That's gross.
Absolutely, it is.
A couple weird things happen with regard to the fucking Nicolas Cage's wife turns into a horrible monster, resorbing her own son slowly.
That was the high point of that movie.
Absolutely.
Just seeing that and then having that just be in the house.
And then why would you bring that into the house?
And then it gets worse too.
It does.
And that's how that honestly the worst, like my least, like my favorite part, but my least favorite part was
that slimy creature.
Was the slimy creature, and then Nicolas Cage like dragging his daughter up the stairs, like you gotta feed mom. We're all in this together, and
we're
then
a family.
He just, like, locks her in the room.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just in there like. It's like Lavinia. It only says her name.
Yeah,
that's all it says, and that's horrifying.
And then, according to the subtitles, it whispers "hungry," but I never heard any of that.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it's trying to eat her, but it goobers on her real good. It like comes at her like the Exorcist going forwards down the stairs, like
plenty of legs. I think it was probably trying to dissolve her like a snake does when it eats.
Yeah, I was kind of getting that, or if it had like it was just like half in her body and like it spat her out when it got its head blown the fuck off.
Sure did. You'll notice how many legs that thing had by the end. At the very beginning of the movie, Nicolas Cage is talking to his wife and he mentions the fact that he's a leg man. I didn't pick that up the first time I saw it, but the second time I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting your wish, Nick.
Something I didn't pick up on, but I literally I just had it on before you got here. So the scene right before they go in and discover that fucking alpaca monster.
Yeah.
It's like 1 hour and 4 minutes in. The camera like pans over Nicolas Cage was just like rubbing that stuff on his. First of all,
he was putting bourbon on his rashy arm.
And fucking cabin fever, he puts Listerine on his dick.
No matter what, you can't escape the horrible sanitary advice that these movies are giving everyone.
Absolutely. And like also it's in the water in both movies.
Yep, it sure is. It's all up in the water and everybody who drinks it gets some monster.
Get a Brita filter.
Yeah.
That if you're in a horror movie, get a Brita filter, or you know what? If water's coming out of your fridge, that's great.
Because usually there's some kind of charcoal filter already built into that shit. this is what I said last week with cabin fever, and I'll say it again. Don't drink dirty fucking water.
Yeah.
When you're in the woods.
Absolutely.
Number one, that's how you get giardia. You don't have to be Survivor Man to know that. Fucking the water comes out when they're in fucking Tommy Chong's little trailer.
Well, he calls it Adam's ale.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not a great way to describe your water.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like Adam and Eve, like the original beverage.
I was thinking it was
dark brown, like beer, for fuck's sake. Yeah, because it was.
And it was like Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your water is a murky brown, don't take that chance. Mm-hmm. Don't hazard it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the guy's like, it could just be rust from the pipes. Again.
Yeah, I still don't want to
Once
drink. Again. I don't want that. No.
You're drinking, you're getting copper poisoning.
Absolutely.
Enjoy that immediately. At the very least, you're getting that. That's like the most treatable effect from drinking dirty ass water all day and night. Ugh. There's nothing else in that whole house. It's just water and bourbon.
For real. Well, ice. At some point he made some ice.
That's water though.
At some point he turned ice into solids. You don't see it happen, but it happens. But okay, so at 104, the camera like pans over from that to like this like thing. It's like a wood carving on the table.
Yeah.
And it looks very much like a mushed pile of alpacas together.
Yeah. You can't really make out like a body form.
Yeah.
But there's like a neck and a head screaming.
Yeah. And then cut to that. And it was a weird thing I noticed. I was like, oh, fuck, look at that little statue.
This is a thing that to me makes movies much better. When they add in little, and it wasn't like by any means the way they shot it, a little thing, like it was meant to be noticed for sure. Mm-hmm. But that, and then like not even an immediate, but in this case, an immediate callback to it, like really creating a universe where things align with each other, because that helps immersion. It's the same as like that, the 180 rule during a conversation, during dialogue with two characters. You have to, when you're shooting it, stay within a radius of 180 degrees. So like if the camera's here to my right and your left, and we're talking, and it's cutting back and forth, it always has to stay on that side. Because if it doesn't, it becomes super confusing for the viewer. Because they can't figure out why the second shot or the third shot looks reversed, but that it's not quite correct.
Hell yeah, that makes sense.
So there's a little film education.
You guys just gleaned a little knowledge off this potty.
Boy, oh boy. I've been sitting here trying not to talk like about deep film analysis or film theory, and more so just about the movies that we're watching, but it's going to come out eventually.
Well, I'll drop this on you. I was in the trivia page. Somebody farted out this little thing. And I didn't really think about it, but like the color that they use is magenta.
It is.
Which is not like a natural color.
No.
You don't see magenta unless you make magenta.
Yeah. It's an illusion created by the human eye because of the way that we perceive color. So we, as people, see red, green, and blue. Magenta is an illusory combination of red and blue. It doesn't actually exist on the color spectrum.
Extra spectral, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. So you'll notice this throughout the movie a little bit. There are very different shades of red, blue, and purple. And they tend to change sometimes. Like Lavinia's hair, depending on the light level, can be very vibrant purple, but then sometimes it'll go to dark blue. And the praying mantis shit and the cat, I think when the headlights hit it, and also just like the color on its own, which is the main threat in the movie, that color touches you, it gets in your shit, and then somehow it's just in there forever. It'll also like change in tone a lot of the time, and like sometimes it'll be like a red, more red than blue, and then vice versa. Which again is something you can't do with practical effects unless you're drawing on the spot.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, the same thing. It says, because like red, evil, blue, good.
Right.
Purple. Oh,
somewhere
it came from space.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, it's got its own little laws it's following. It doesn't know. It's just here doing its thing.
Yeah.
So
its thing happens to be horrible.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's living its life. But it's really making Nicolas Cage just Nicolas Cage's life.
Nicolas Life Cage.
You know,
he lives in a life cage on that farm.
Oh man, if you're anywhere, if you're an hour away from any hospital, horror movie.
Yep,
you live in a horror movie right there.
Real easy.
How did you find yourself an hour away from a hospital? That's no.
What are the chances your car doesn't start one time or another? That could happen literally any day of the week.
In this weather.
And you're relying on these phones, and your fucking color jams up the signal.
Yep, that color's a bitch.
It is. It really doesn't like anything electrical. Which, okay, the first thing that I think, and it's not just this movie, and it's not even like just movies that have to do with aliens of some kind. I don't know if you would call this an alien movie. I would.
I mean, it's sort of an alien movie.
It's a being from outer space with some kind of sentience that comes down and like fuck shit up.
I mean, yeah, it's from space.
Anytime in movies where somebody's on the phone or listening to the radio and the shit gets all fucked up, or like cars' headlights suddenly start flashing and shit, my first thought is aliens every time, and I have no idea why that is. What about those things happening? Because like a couple of weeks ago, I lost power in my apartment.
Oh shit! And
I'm pretty sure I heard a transformer explode just down the street. Anyway, it was out for like an hour and a half or something. I don't know. London Hydro's fucked. That's a much more reasonable explanation than it's aliens. But I think aliens right away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, is that the world ending?
Yeah.
Darkness all of a sudden? Like, look out the window, look up. What? I don't...
I fucking like a storm rolls in and it's loud. It's aliens.
Oh, yeah. Well, aliens they're in the cloud, right?
Yeah, they're in the cloud. They control the weather.
Yeah.
That's what, it's no Mother Nature. It's alien. Mama.
Alien comma. Is that what you said? I
said mama.
Oh, alien mama.
Yeah. Alien mom's coming to say hi. And she's bringing lightning.
Comma, she's bringing lightning. Boom. Period sentence.
That's a good sentence.
I know. I just wrote it. So at the beginning of the movie, opens up on the daughter. She's doing like some ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is going to be disrespectful a little bit. And I think we're going to lose a couple people who watched it and went like, I know what that is. That's what I do.
Interested. Yeah.
Wiccan or pagan.
Yeah. One of those.
I always find it a little funny when they're like, they give like whatever spirit, like somebody's full ass name.
Yeah.
Like they're
Michael.
Michael Scott, and then they like the dude's gonna flip through yellow pages like, oh yeah, here we go, address, phone number, I got it, I'll just go save that dude, whatever, I got this.
This is exactly how to contact this person.
Yeah, like here's his schedule, he's free on Wednesdays. Go get him, demon, go.
Anytime that I gotta talk about this water surveyor for a second because fucking idiot,
absolutely
an idiot.
Oof.
And now he does very well for himself, despite being a black guy who says, I'll be back right in the movie. In an insane turn in expectations, he survives. He did, like, he committed the two, like, cardinal sins of horror movies, saying I'll be back and being a black person. And he does relatively well. He
does.
Picture yourself as somebody coming to fucking do a survey for the water table. You're testing water and shit. Mm-hmm. You don't really know where you are. You've spoken to the city already, the powers that be in the whatever county township, and you stumble across a woman in the woods doing a ritual. Don't go up and say hi.
Yeah, no, you're in Witch Town.
Yeah, you sure are. Even if she isn't a witch, assume that.
Yeah,
for your own good.
Yeah, you know what? For everybody, assume everybody's a witch.
Yeah, especially in the woods.
Yeah,
you see stones in a circle. Guess what?
Witches.
You turn around, walk the other way, and the first thing she says is like, "You're on private property." That's like the tamest thing that could have ever. She could have just started saying gibberish, and it would have fit with what she was doing.
Yep. Oh yeah, and waving her hands in a cursy manner.
Yeah,
that would have
pointing up at the fucking sky and the water. You got a triangle in your hair.
Yeah. You probably don't approach people who appear to be witches or some sort of ghoul.
Yeah, you go up to the house and there's like a baby with pieces of metal attached to it or something. Nah, I don't necessarily need to talk to these people.
Yeah,
I'm going to go back to the river and test the water and just mind my own goddamn business.
Absolutely. Go talk to the squatter. No, thank you. If you see the squatter, tell him where I am, and he can come to me. I'm not going to seek out a man who's squatting in the woods.
Especially when he's described as special by the homeowners.
Yeah, and then you get there, and it's Tommy Chong, and he's handing you something to smoke, and...
That's the... Out of all the people that I've never met who I believe would offer me a drug, I think he would be a more trustworthy face.
Probably. You know what? Probably.
That Tommy Chong, man, has not aged well.
Well, no.
I saw him maybe 6 or 7 years ago in something. I believe it was some sort of comedy interview show or something to that effect. And he looked good for his age then. Living in the woods hasn't done him any favors at all. No. Holy shit. He looked like he was melting into himself. I did not need to see him shirtless.
He's a method actor. He's a method actor.
Are you saying method actor or meth head actor? Because either.
Yeah, I feel like he probably got ripped out of his mind and they're like, go, Tommy.
Yeah.
Just get in there.
It's all good. He's telling the story on this thing, the thing that I saw with him in it, of when he was in prison. He got sentenced for possession. And this is a long time ago. Some documentary crew, like A&E or something like that, came and did a special on the prison that he was in, not knowing that he was in it. They found, in some roundabout way, he ended up being interviewed, despite the fact nobody on the crew knew who he was. So he was like, hey, I'm just going to fuck with you this whole time. So they're asking him to describe what it's like to live in this prison. And he's talking about how it feels a little bit like slavery, like you're working for the man for a very small amount of money. I think it's like they get like 20 cents a month or something like that. Like that's a current statistic. And the food's bad and stuff. So he goes on for a bit about that, really selling it. And then he goes, honestly, it made me feel like a black man. And they cut straight away from him right after that. And that's my favorite shit. Because if you're like into comedy or you understand anything about him, like that was obviously a joke.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you nobody in that room knew that was a joke at the time.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah. He's a beautiful man. And really, I think I said this last week or the week before, but those Chong brothers, or Cheech and Chong, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't know he was a brother, man.
I figured they were brothers for a very long time, and like only recently realized that they weren't. You can take that Cheech and Chong fame, and you can do basically one of two things with it, and that's what happened with Cheech and Chong. Tommy Chong became like this very politically minded, informative, sort of teacher type in the world of anybody willing to listen to him, a bit of like an intellectual. Cheech Marine does movies like Machete, and I'm pretty sure he's dead now. Those are your two options.
Ah, shit.
With your platform once Cheech and Chong is over.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah, there was just opposite ends of the... They got to that fork in the road and like, all right, I'm going to do this, you do that.
Yeah.
See you later.
And somehow Cheech aged better. I don't know how that happens.
Poor Chong. Poor Chong. I think they maybe dirtied him up for the movie.
That could be, yeah. He obviously embraced the role.
Yeah.
He looked like he was having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Just being a weird hippie in the wood. And always believe those people when they have things to say that are supernatural.
Yeah, at least listen. Let me hear you out. I'll keep that in mind in case I see a monster.
Yeah, I got this fucking Memorex recording of what sounds like gibberish and a high-pitched noise that 100% activated what little tinnitus I have for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It creates this like weird, and I don't know if you like, for those of you who don't have tinnitus and you see this film, if it'll do the same thing, but that noise hits and something happens in my ears where like things become muffled and oppressive.
Weird.
And I think that was probably like the goal, but like if that increases in volume, like it sounds like I'm wearing headphones. Like there's something.
That's so weird.
I don't know. Like it covers up like the natural room tone or some shit.
I did not get that effect, but I think if I rewatched it, I'd get what you're talking about.
It was super fucking weird for me. I do have a little bit of tinnitus, so that could be why. I've gone to a lot of metal shows in my life.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Stood right by the fucking speaker like an idiot.
Yeah, you know what? I do regret doing some of that. Just a little bit.
They don't tell you. They don't tell you what's gonna happen afterward.
So Nick Cage, not a believable dad. I'll throw that out there. When he came out and he was trying to be like the good dad, I'm like, what the fuck is this? He looks like he's making fun of Rick Moranis.
Why him?
Because he's got the glasses, the vest, or like the sweater or whatever, and he's like trying to be like come on now, guys, let's go. We're all family together.
Teaching lessons.
And then he got that weird hair now.
Yeah.
Not on purpose,
but fucking Vampire's Kiss hair. That combed back. That's Vampire's Kiss and National Treasure and that meme picture of him where he looks like a bird.
Yeah, it is. Oh, God. But he's got like that just weird hair and the glasses. It's just like, it looks like he's trying to be Rick Moranis a little bit. You're
thinking Rick Moranis.
I'm thinking, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Gosh dang it. And he's like, he is like that for like the beginning and then he goes wild.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before Nicolas Cage goes wild in just about every movie that he's in.
Yeah.
You're just counting down a clock in your head. How many things until the last straw?
The scene with the tomatoes, I think that was it right there. And I don't think that was in the script. I don't think the part where he starts hucking them into the trash and going slam dunk.
Coming up!
I don't think that was in. And I think there's a part where the mom tries to throw a line in there, like just get it done, and he just continues to huck these old weird looking tomatoes. Yeah, by the way,
bulbous tomatoes.
They look like there's too much tomato in the tomato.
Yeah, it wants out.
And he's like, oh, peaches.
Stoked on the peaches. By the way, he's so happy in that fucking garden when he's pulling these out because one of these tomatoes are like the size of a dog's head.
Yeah, they're huge. They're like red pumpkins.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, this is great." He's not noticing that, like, the whole time the color is changing.
That mantis is right in there.
Yeah, it's the leaves are turning purple. It's changing everything to like the way it wants it to be. You know? And he's just fucking. My tomatoes are huge, and by the way, a month early. That's a little suspicious.
It is. What have you put in your fertilizer? There's no way that your alpaca milk is solving that problem.
Oh, those poor alpacas.
I'll tell you. There is nothing appetizing to me about alpaca milk. I don't care how much fennel you put in it.
You know what the most upsetting part of the alpaca milk, that whole bit, was when they're like, the kid's watching it and he's like, "Oh, that was a good one, Dad." Nice.
He's watching,
good squirt, Dad.
These weird, large, I don't even know what else to compare them to, rugs. Getting milked.
Yeah.
And super enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. Like, nice one, Dad.
Ugh. It comes out like an ejaculation.
It does. And it seems thick, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
It's thicker than regular milk. I would not drink alpaca milk.
I think cow milk comes out a little bit more watery, in fact. So, yeah. I don't know why it was so buttery.
And like fennel, ugh.
Yeah.
Fennel is the taste of black licorice.
It is.
Why would you want that near your milk?
Don't put that in milk. Don't drink milk from a llama. Don't have a shot of this thing drinking water from the reflection in the dish of water.
Yeah,
and his wide fucking open mouth sucking water in.
I did not understand what I was looking at.
I was quite uncomfortable. I don't know why, but it just grossed me right out.
That and like for better lack of thing, like the mommy melter, the spider mom, like lapping up water. That made me really uncomfortable too, because like that's not something a human thinks to do. Like lap up water out of a bowl of milk or out of a bowl of water.
Yeah, and at that point, it still does look like a human being. It still looks like their mom.
Yeah,
and it's really slowly drinking this water with its tongue right out, like almost sensually.
Yeah, like a dirty dog.
Like a dog with cancer.
Yeah. But like, oof. Yeah, just, mommy melter.
Mommy melter.
That's the only thing I could think of that one time.
That's what we're going to call it.
Mommy melter, spider mom. I don't know.
Spider mom's good. I understand where you get Mommy Melter from.
Well, yeah.
Because she did indeed begin to melt.
The youngest son, Jack, whole movie, he just gets shit on.
Well, I'll tell you.
From start to finish, he does not have a good time the entire movie.
No, but I would have thrown that kid in the garbage. Within like day 2, he's whistling at the well, and the well's speaking back. That's end of kid for me.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I feel like they were trying to throw him in the garbage. The first thing you see is him like, they sent me to this well to pull up a bucket of water.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I'm like 8 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm like 8 fucking pounds.
You can't even get the rope untied. You can't even reach the rope to untie it.
So it's like, okay, send your young child to this open pit in the ground.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We need somebody to white knuckle through this. Fucking Jack. We'll send him. Fuck you, kid.
And then, oh my God. First of all, Nicolas Cage, some of these lines that he delivers, the way he delivers them when he's like, it's your turn to do the dishes. Mm-hmm. And they're like, nah.
And he's doing that like head wobble and shit.
It's fucking Jack's turn. And nobody defends poor Jack. And they're like, yeah, I guess it's Jack's turn. Get in there.
What are you going to do? Fight us for it?
And then, there was one more thing that happens to poor Jack, and it's not.
He gets sucked back into his own mom.
Well, I mean,
how about that?
But there's another thing in between there. I don't remember what it is. If he he gets just like the chocolatey end of the popsicle stick the whole movie. That's his deal. Just the raw deal for Jack.
Yeah, the popsicle's eaten already, and he's just got to lick the stick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that kid. I wouldn't be trusting that kid as far as I could throw him. Which would probably be far, but I still wouldn't trust him. The second that he fucking starts talking to aliens, dude.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh yeah. And any child that starts whistling and just to like, oh, I'm playing with my friends.
Yeah. The friends nobody else can see, and then they speak back.
That child's about to get fucking shook.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Hard.
You gotta explain more than that. You can't just be. What are you talking? By the way, that entire movie, I don't know if you've noticed, that child was drawing the color.
Yeah.
He was drawing like purple, like a purple monster, a specific purple monster over and over again. And at one point, the mom's like, no, stop that. That's enough.
Yeah. There was one drawing in particular that did look like what the mom turned out looking like.
Yeah.
But it was for a very brief second, so I'm not 100%. No, he was drawing like what looked like a human body with like globs.
Yeah, but there was 3 separate drawings.
Yeah,
and they're all like a purple glob with globs coming out of it. And then at one point, it was like after the mom cut her fingers off, where she was like, I don't know, hypnotized. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, go get your mom, and clunk cuts her fingers off. Continues to chop, and he doesn't. Hey, stop, mom! Stop real quick. He's like, oh, I'll get dad.
Yeah, why?
And you can hear her vigorously just chop, 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 chop.
And then she goes, "Dinner's ready."
Ugh.
All of Jack's wanting to be a good kid, he gets a face full of his mom's blood.
Yeah,
right away.
And he look. If you haven't seen the movie, he looks like the kid from Stuart Little.
Yeah, he does.
He looks
with
like
the fucking tape on his glasses, basically.
Yeah, for real.
I will say also the middle child there, the Benny, is in a movie called The Guest, which is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I will recommend it to anybody. It's about fucking, I can't remember his name. No, it's Dan something. Anyway, he's Legion, if you've seen that series at all.
I've heard of it.
And he's in a couple other things. But it's about, he's like a fucking weird militarized sleeper agent that comes and lives with the family of one of the people he went to war with. And shit just hits the fan. It's real good. It's not really a horror movie. It's more of a thriller, but it's quite good.
Okay. Something to check out. Is that the Legion's, that was like on FX, right?
Yeah.
That series? Okay.
Yeah. The whole trailer, he's like underwater in a pool. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They're doing like experiments on him trying to unlock his powers or something. I never actually saw it.
It's X-Men related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn something. It's going to piss me off now, but that's fine.
So how about the whole thing when like the meteor comes down and Nicolas Cage is getting intimate with his wife?
Yeah.
And like for a second, he like, for him, it must have been like, wow, I nutted so hard. The whole family felt that.
Well,
like his
first of all,
son's like drooling at the computer, and kid's like freaking out in the hallway, like, wow, that was a powerful nut.
They never actually get to banging.
They don't.
They got clothes on.
But like,
they got clothes on the whole time. And this is something I noticed because you're not at the point where you're undressing yourself or each other, but a huge purple light comes through your window. Hey man, hold up. What's that?
Well, maybe it's like, hold on, this erection's only going to be here for another 5. We gotta pop it.
He did say that it had been 6 months since they banged, and she had some kind of operation, which leads me to believe that it was a miscarriage because he calls it trying again. Either that or he busted her open. It's one of those two options.
Well, at the beginning,
which lends credence to your point that he has very powerful semen.
Yeah, that, and also the daughter was trying to like get cancer out of her mom's body with that ritual at the beginning.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was.
Okay, because I remember the Hell My Mom. I didn't know it was about the cancer.
Yeah, but like when he goes to talk to the cops, he was like, he picked the worst way to introduce the cops to the situation because it started off with
fucking
like
my wife.
Yeah, so I was plugging my wife, and there was a thing, but it had been a while since we had banged.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even say, like, during the situation, after the comet hit, during the situation, me and my wife were doing it. It's like, nah, me and my wife, first and foremost.
Let me make it known.
I can get an erection.
I
can get an erection. Me and my wife were doing it.
Yeah.
And then there was a comet, but we were doing it.
Now listen, Sheriff and news person. I'm fully capable of satisfying my wife. Let's get that out of the way.
I know you're here, and I know what you're thinking. We both came.
And then the meteor hit, and I'm not sure which was which. And then,
God.
What is she, like, do you drink? Yeah, I like a whiskey. I love a whiskey.
Were you sober? Well, I do love a good bourbon. It's from Texas, which, by the way, I don't think is correct. I'm pretty sure bourbon's from Kentucky. Exclusively.
Kentucky, and even Jack Daniels is technically called Tennessee whiskey because I believe that Kentucky is the only place where you can make bourbon and call it that.
So we just not only that, but there was the part where they keep calling it they keep saying like a meteorite would burn up in the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. No, a meteorite hits the earth. It's a meteor that burns up in the atmosphere.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's
a syntax error.
We're coming for you, Nick.
Oh, Nick, get your science right.
As well, I did when they were like, "Oh, is it kryptonite?" Nicolas Cage was like, "We better fucking mention Superman in this movie." that was something he made happen.
He's got a thing, I believe, where he likes Superman a lot, or something. Oh, to that
he was
effect.
supposed to be Superman in the movie they were supposed to make, but they canceled it.
Okay.
So from now on, every movie he makes, he muscles in, he thumbs fucking a Superman reference in there.
Right in your mouth like that, whether you like it or not.
Fucking Nicolas goddamn motherfucking Cage.
I do remember hearing something about him and Superman. Also, and I didn't have any way of confirming this, but I believe that Lavinia, when she's listening to music, is listening to Nick Cage's son's black metal band.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it sounds like, and there's a picture of them floating around at some kind of red carpet event or something.
Yeah.
Nick Cage and his son is dressed in full corpse paint.
Oh, yes, he is.
He made no illusions about it.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's a good picture to see. If you haven't seen it, it's a good picture to see.
So it sounded like black metal. I'm wondering if it was.
You know what? And I'm just gonna assume it was and live my life, and I'm gonna feel happy about that.
Yeah, because that makes it better for sure.
I enjoyed when like their son was in shock and they were like, "We got to go to the hospital." Like, nah, that's an hour away.
It's too far.
And then he like taps his son on the shoulder and he's like, Jack. I don't know. Let's have a bourbon. and it's like, I guess that's what the doctors would have done. You're right. Yeah. Why take him an hour out to the hospital?
Well, that's basically a prescription.
So I'll have a bourbon and just calm down.
His wife gets all up in his grill about it. She's like, your son's sick and this is what you're going to do? And he goes, well, under the circumstances, I don't know what else I could do. Might as well get loaded, guys. Jack's sick. I'm getting loaded.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean...
That's typical dad behavior right there.
Yeah, it's an hour away. I don't think we're going to be driving. Cracks of bourbon.
Yeah. I'm not getting behind the wheel.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Yeah, with the child and the whispering, the whistling into the, that's concerning behavior. I wrote that down.
Yeah, fucking anything in a well. Let me tell you, there's not a single thing that's ever come out of a well that's been good.
Yeah, no, real.
First thing that comes to mind, to fuck a chick from The Ring. She comes right out of a well, and then through your television.
Little baby Jessica fell into a well.
Sure.
I mean, it was good she got out, but it's bad as she went in. Wells are bad.
They are. Don't have one.
Case closed. Clunk.
Yeah. And like obviously the water's gross in that fucking thing.
Oh, it's disgusting.
You got a guy coming to look at the water table in the first place. Naturally assume that your water's bad. That's real guilty until proven innocent shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here? My water's bad.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Bring out the filters I can't afford.
Yeah.
Bring out those tests that only you would have.
It reminded me of the fucking oil fracker people. Now, this guy is like very nice, and he was there to be helpful. Mm-hmm. But they masquerade the same way. Like, we're here to survey your groundwater. And then the next thing you know, there's goddamn oil drilling equipment in your backyard.
Yeah, for real.
And it happens almost overnight. And then, oh, whoops, there's earthquakes. And again, as with that, your water turns into methane gas. If you see somebody like this, assume your water's bad. Either it is now, or it's gonna be by the time he leaves.
Oh my God! And I mean, at this point, just get a Brit. What are you doing?
Yeah, man, they're everywhere. They're quite easy to get. You can get ones that fucking have the little interchangeable filter right in there.
Oh yeah.
And it's fine. Just make sure to change it, or else that water gets bad.
This podcast has been brought to you by Brita Filters. Filter out monsters, flesh-eating bacteria, and all other nonsense.
The color magenta.
Get yourself a Brita.
It is quite a nice color. I will say that.
You know what? They did pick any color, really. They went with purple. That's a good ass color.
Oh yeah, that was
purple
a great
green,
choice.
They could have gone with either of those two, and I would have been like, "This is an all right movie with me."
Yeah, I've never read the book upon which this movie was based, but I did wonder if at any point H.P. Lovecraft described the color. Because one of his things is fear the unknown, scientific development, which makes sense because she's trying to fucking do this whole aquifer thing, and that's sort of the problem. And so I would get the sense that color was chosen afterward because of the wavelength thing. Like, we need a color that's unique and sort of anomalous to prove this point. I think H.P. Lovecraft probably wouldn't have described the color in the book because that leaves it up to your imagination.
Yeah, I feel like he would have went with obviously a color that obviously you can't perceive.
Yeah.
So it'd be like an undescribable, an imperceivable color.
As I was looking this up, I read a thing about mantis shrimp.
Oh yeah.
Like I said before, human beings can only see in red, green, and blue, and combinations of that. Mantis shrimp have like 11 colors on their visual spectrum. Imagine just being inundated with shades constantly.
That'd be wild.
Fucking weirdly overwhelming, I imagine.
Imagine things that exist that are these colors.
Yeah.
That we can't see.
Yeah.
But those shrimp would see them.
They would.
Because they'd be able to see the colors.
So fucking look through a shrimp's eyes for like an hour, and you're like, this is fucked. I didn't know plants looked like this.
I'd like to see, can we get that going? Is there a machine that can make it? I want to look through a shrimp's eyes.
Yeah.
So science.
We got crazy VR technology these days.
Let me be a shrimp.
Yeah. I want to know.
So, something else I picked up on. The daughter, she like carves herself up for a protection spell.
She sure does.
And the whole time she's like reading the Necronomicon.
I have that exact Necronomicon, number 1.
Number 2, that's a made up thing by Lovecraft for another book.
It sure is. So, additionally, a compilation book I have of his is just called that. And it's just a bunch of his stories put together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe he coined the term and what it sort of is, because it's just you're talking to the elder gods in that thing. Mm-hmm. And those guys, if you think a color is bad, wait until the bat-winged tentacle monster comes out of the ocean at you because you wanted to say hi. You just hit him up on the celly. And here he is.
Imagine being so afraid of the water that you come up with that stuff. Just like, oh, water. Well, tentacle monsters and bats down there. That's
the grossest thing imaginable.
Hey, don't go down there. Why not? Tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll buy it, HP.
And then, yeah, that's how he's ruined many voyages.
And then he just, describes it horribly. And everybody stays on their widow's wharfs forever. And just looks at it and goes,
yeah,
I ain't going anywhere near that shit. Did you hear what that guy said? Fuck that.
I'm not even going to get near the lighthouse.
No.
To hell with that.
Too close.
Oh, my God. I also, Nick Cage, when he's like flipping out on the car and he comes back in and he's like, yeah, the car's not happening. That's about the extent to the knowledge I have of a car. And if he said that to me, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Absolutely.
There's no like, can you please elaborate? Because I wouldn't understand it regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Just be like, yep, no, not today. Not today,
not
ever,
be broken.
Probably.
Yeah. No, it must be broken forever. Until you tell me otherwise, I'm going to assume that.
We got to go to the car man. Got to go to the car man.
Oh, he's an hour away. That bitch mayor, I'll tell you.
Yeah, for real.
She wants the property so bad that she's going to be horrible at her job. She's like leaving after the meteor, and he goes, hey, is there a doctor nearby? My kid's sick. And she's like, go to Arkham.
Yeah. Welcome to the sticks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Political figure who I'm supposed to trust.
Yeah. Thanks for the help. Thanks for like not even like a number.
No.
Not even like a let me Google that for you.
Can you find me a hospital? Yeah. Leave.
You should have sold me the house, asshole.
Yeah. Now your kid's gonna die. Good.
She probably called the color and like, look, I want this house.
Yeah. Just make sure the house is intact. And the color couldn't even do that. Yeah, I realized the only reason why that water surveyor survived was because the dust from the house crumbling turned him white at the end. He started off as black, and then, well, he had to survive somehow.
That ain't right. That's I don't know if that's an okay thing to say. I did enjoy when Tommy Chong, when they were like talking about his cat G-Spot, the water surveyor was like, hey, where's G-Spot? He's like, I don't know, he's off doing something.
Caterwauling is what he said.
Oh, that's probably making love or something. That's probably a funny way of saying cat's doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then he's like, oh yeah, I'll let you know if I see him. And he's like, oh, you probably won't recognize him, but he does. he spots that fucking collar in that pile of mutated animals, and he's like, oh, there it is.
That's G-Spot.
G-Spot's mushed up with some other wildlife.
I guess he finally found it.
I don't know if they were like mutated together like the alpacas, if they were just like all burnt up, but like he was already like no hair when he ran out in front of the people. What
water table surveyor knows what radiation poisoning looks like?
You know?
That guy was educated beyond his field.
He clearly went to university.
He must have. He's talking about fucking radiation poisoning.
I didn't go, so I couldn't tell you.
Talking about geology,
water surveying, and then he's like, "Oh, this water is dirty. Don't touch it."
Yeah, like, I mean, I could have told you that by looking at it, but
like, you know, the whole time he's not like, "What's everything doing being purple? Why is everything different?"
Usually, that's a sign that something's happening.
Yeah. And then like, he was, when he came out and the boy was like, I'm playing with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why did you put him in the well? If you know so good, kill that kid.
Yeah. He wants to be in the well so bad. That's why he's there constantly.
Yeah.
Just help him out. He couldn't get the rope down to untie it.
Yeah. And for sure, like, if you ever have a well on your property that draws the attention of children, board it up.
Yeah. Board it directly up.
Save yourself some trouble.
That's a problem. I don't remember at which point they mentioned. I guess it was toward the end. After, it must have been after Benny and Lavinia try to leave on the horse, because Benny hears his dog Sam from that well, and what's his first thought? I better get in that shit.
Look, given the state of the alpacas, maybe don't go after the dog. The alpacas were not pleasant to see. What do you think the dog's going to be like?
And that dog's long gone. It's in the well? Well, guess what? Guess where all your problems have been stemming from. You must have had some kind of suspicion about that.
Yeah. If anything, you're going to pull that dog out and it's going to be just mercy kill it.
Yeah. It's not going to be worth having gone in to get it.
Yeah. No.
Just consider it dead and that's fine. If that dog had been missing for days and it's in the well yelling, the well full of water that it can't get out of, it's not a dog in there anymore, man.
Yeah, no, that's a spider dog. That's a fucking poochie melter.
That's
just a fucking melty pooch down there.
At best.
Also, it's important to note that they were trying to leave on that horse, and then the color it made the horse freak out.
Yeah,
you like see in its eyes are all purple, and it just prevented them from leaving.
Yeah.
So I think it was hungry for more people.
Yeah,
I think it wanted to try and make more people spiders.
That's a fair assessment. It really liked when the people turned into spiders because it reminded it of home.
Yeah, like, man, I love
like
tears. This is good.
Yeah, it's like putting up like doilies in your house.
Yeah,
You just want it to feel more homey.
Yeah. You put up a picture, you melt your neighbors together into a monster.
Yeah. It's all
Home
part
sweet
of
home.
it's all part of like gentrification.
Yeah. Then that's what's going on. That's what's wrong with the neighborhoods these days. The prices are going up. People are being melted together.
That's not good for your property value.
It's not. You got Nicolas Cage out there kissing his monster wife on the lips.
Really slimy kiss.
Yeah.
Really filthy,
absolutely.
dirty kiss.
Points a gun in her face.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, don't shoot me. And like, he's like, all right, well, I'm going to kiss you then. And fucking smooches her. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best, baby. I'm going to do my best.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
He goes, holy shit, we're going to take care of this.
and then is that when the daughter's like the alpacas?
Yeah. It's right after that because he decides that he's not going to shoot her anymore. And then, chronologically, either way, it's after the filthiest kiss ever recorded on film.
Slimy.
I don't want to be pulling back. It looks like that fucking soybean shit from like Korea.
Yeah, the fermented beans.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that immediately when you pull that shit out of the container.
Yeah.
Brett fucking had a PTSD flashback.
Yeah, that was probably the worst kiss recorded. Absolutely, I agree. No,
I'm trying to think of a worse kiss.
Honestly, if there's a worse kiss, it's gonna be in one of these movies we watch.
Oh fuck yeah,
they're gonna get bad. They're gonna get disgusting. I'm trying to see if I have anything else like jotted down here that we didn't really talk about, but like
the water surveyor shows up and they interact for the first time, him and Lavinia, and then she goes into the house and her mom's like, "Well, you're dressed like a slut."
I totally had that mom slut shame daughter written down too. I was like, maybe we'll gloss over that. Maybe we don't need to. No, you noticed that too? Okay.
She's like, you like him, don't you? You're practically throwing yourself at him. Look at the way you're dressed.
She's dressed like, what does she have, like fishnets and jean shorts?
Yeah, so
like,
she had some short shorts in the summertime.
She's like 17.
That's another thing worth noting. This guy is clearly an adult.
Yeah, he is.
And she's studying for school. So there's no way that she's above the age of 18.
No. Oh, as well, the middle son, Billy or Jim.
Benny.
Has some Bible verse up on his wall.
What is it? No flesh shall be spared.
That and...
Talk about foreshadowing, number one.
They live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. And you couldn't find a better spot to smoke weed.
Right in the stables.
Took her 2 seconds to find them.
It sure did.
2 feet away from your house.
Yeah. Walk 30 minutes if you're trying to hide it.
Oh, not even. Go behind a tree.
Yeah. Just don't do it in the stables where the smell lingers. Exactly. And she's going to be in there to tend to the fucking animals regardless.
Exactly.
She loves that horse. She's dicking around with the horse constantly. Hey, I'm going to hide the fact that I'm smoking weed, which is something that everybody here disapproves of, in the one place they're always.
For real. Just go hang out with Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
He lives right down the path.
He does, and he's awesome.
You know,
he's got sage wisdom.
If I had a guy that looked like that lived right down the path, I'd be like, here, you hold on to my weed. I'm gonna smoke it.
I'm gonna go hang out with Ezra because I know from his face that he's got the good kush.
And you open the door and he's listening to Demons in the Ground.
Yeah, right underneath.
Yeah.
The guy tries so hard to be like, oh, it's an electromagnetic field. Read the room. Do you know who you're talking to? Look at him.
You've got Tommy Chong with what was it?
Fucking blue, like he's got his face all painted ritualistically.
Oh, he does.
Crazy dreadlocks and his shit hanging everywhere. Weird shit. Dolls.
He probably did that himself too. I could see that. Like, all right, Tommy, you're just gonna be a squatter. Shows up like that.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
It wasn't even a makeup chair thing. He just showed up to shoot that day. Like, this is what we're doing.
They had like a wardrobe. It was just like tracksuit or whatever.
One of those classic, it's like there's some beads hanging off or something.
Yeah, nah. Nah.
We're doing this.
I'm a squatter. This is what I do.
Yeah. Well, what else do you do when you're a squatter?
I don't know.
You got to fill the time somehow.
Exactly. Also, it's probably worth noting the end of the movie. That's what it's like to be in the storm on Fortnite. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, when it finally comes out of the well.
Yeah, that's Fortnite right there.
That's Fortnite.
That's the storm on Fortnite. So, that's why you run. That's why you got to get to the circle. Bad stuff.
The circle. So the basement in the wine cellar, that in this case was the circle. Because that's where hydrologist went. And to be honest with you, dude, I don't care how much my ears hurt. If I think I'm going to die and I find myself in a wine cellar, we pop in bottles, man.
Yeah, at least one.
We pop in so many bottles. I will pour it all over my naked body.
Yeah, I liked your text. You're like, I'm watching it. I saw how much wine he had in the wine cellar, so I'm going to get some.
He made it look so good. It's fucking dinner time, and his wife goes, why don't you pick out a good one? And he fucking puts his finger to his lips, and he thinks real hard, and he goes, I got just the thing.
Oh, he does.
And it's fucking wine, and he's stoked. And then he can hear them talking about how bad his French stew is. Yeah. And he comes up the stairs talking about how he hears conspiracy theories.
By the way, that French stew, oh, yuck.
Now,
yuck.
It's called cassolette, and I would try that. It looks like an amalgam of meats and sauces.
It doesn't look appealing.
No.
That's the problem.
It did look like the meat that his wife turned into.
It very much did. She had boils and stuff, gray skin. Like, it looked
That's when the fucking sunlight hits her arm.
Yeah.
And it starts to bubble up. That's that white kidney bean.
Yeah.
In the cassolette. There's all this. This is the second time now where you've chosen a dish that doesn't fit the atmosphere that you're in.
No, it does not.
Granted, in this one, they had it first, whereas in Cabin Fever, they watched somebody's skin fall off of their body and then ate chili.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not an appealing choice.
Yum, yum, yum. It's just been a good 2 movies so far. For
a lot of
food and things in the water.
A lot of good comparables here.
Yeah, for real.
I noticed that the producers of this movie probably saw The Thing and liked it a lot, hence the monsters. But if you go back a step even further, John Carpenter, I believe, is the creator of The Thing. Either that or Wes Craven. I get them mixed up.
Nah, yeah, it was he did The Thing.
I can almost guarantee you that motherfucker read Color Out of Space and was like, oh, monsters.
Yeah, goopy people monsters.
Yeah, we can work with this.
Oh, that's going to be a movie we do, because I feel like all these movies, I'm like, I just got to force somebody to watch them.
Yeah.
So all the movies you're going to be watching are movies that I'm finally getting to force people to watch.
Put it this way, Matt. I've seen that movie about 4 times.
Thank God.
Yes. Thank him. Kurt Russell is hardcore.
Yep.
There's a flamethrower.
Oh, yeah.
What is bad about anything I just described?
Maybe
they're trying to shoot a dog from a helicopter with a sniper in the first 30 seconds.
Like the weird practical effects, I guess. They're upsetting. That dude's chest opening up like a monster mouth and biting the dude's arm.
Yeah.
Upsetting.
Whole stomach opening. The fucking head separates. It turns into a spider. Again with the spiders.
Yeah.
Which I hate spiders.
Oh my God. Yeah, that thing crawling across the floor.
Yep. It was that fucking bird's eye view angle was a good choice because you got to see the whole shit, but it happened fast enough that you didn't get to dwell on any of it.
Yeah,
that was perfect.
It was like a house centipede scurrying.
I will mention that, what's his damn name here? Richard Stanley?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Also made the movie Hardware, which fans of The Office will recognize as a film about a scientist who creates a robot out of spare parts that ends up killing people.
Right.
And again, very impressive practical effects. It's just like gross wires and weird eyeballs, man.
We gotta check that one out.
That one might be worth checking out. There's 2 versions. I'm not sure which one he made, but one is more popular than the other for sure. I had something else off of what we were talking about, and it's long gone.
Well, I mean, I got a list of like
that kid Jack. You said you got Stuart Little kid.
Yeah,
I got Rivers Cuomo.
Okay, young Rivers.
Yeah, from Weezer.
It's the glasses.
It's totally the thick rimmed glasses and the nerdiness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I can see that now.
That chick, Lavinia, by the way, is 24 years old. Not in the movie, but in real life.
Oh, well.
Big surprise for me. I thought they got an actual child actor.
Yeah, for real.
She looks 12.
It's probably for the best since she carves herself up and whatever, you know?
And then I have written down here, because she starts to get a little bit disheveled by the end. Chick's supposed to be like 16. Why does she look like she spent 36 years eating nails and smoking reserve cigarettes?
That's what the color does to you.
The color just turns you into a burnt skin graft.
Yeah.
Slowly over time.
I got there was other H.P. Lovecraft references in the movie. The weather lady at the very beginning, she's like talking about weather in other places, and all of the places that she mentions are places from Lovecraft stories.
Yes. Arkham itself, I think, is the town where a lot of his books take place.
The narrator.
Not to talk about how I got ripped off for Batman.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
It totally did.
That's upsetting for me.
The dude who's narrating the movie his name's like Ward Phillips.
Yeah, that's the hydrologist for those not listening to me say his name at all up to this point.
So Ward Phillips is H.P. Lovecraft's actual name.
Nice.
And he's wearing is it Miskatonic University, which H.P. Lovecraft mentions.
Interesting as well. See, look at all this little, and this is a nice thing, and I don't know whose choice it was, but yeah, really shouting out the person who created the story that you're adapting. That's a good choice when you want your thing to be recognized by people who love that person.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this was supposed to be a trilogy with other stories, but that got canceled.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Richard Stanley's in some heat.
Yeah, that motherfucker. What did he do? Did he show his pud to a child?
There was some accusations.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I mean, hey,
just keep your pud to yourself. How much?
Yeah,
is that too much to ask?
When you're making heat like this, keep your pud to yourself.
Yeah, dude.
Calling it a pud is pretty upsetting.
It is. It reminds me, there's a skateboarder named Tori Pudwill.
Yeah.
And the guy that I work with, Tim, now, because he said it every time I say pud, which is pretty often, to be honest, because that's a horrible word.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, I think of Tori Pudwill. So shout out to Tori Pudwill. I just watched a video this morning of him at the Brooklyn Banks in New York trying to do a trick, falling and breaking his arm so bad that you can hear the bone snap. So that's cool.
That.
I'm going to talk about how stupid Lavinia is for a second.
Absolutely.
I've cleaned off maybe 1,000 bloody knives and never been in danger of throwing up. I don't give a shit whose blood it is. You're doing these weird rituals in the woods. You know how to cut yourself up, so it's not the first time you've done it. Mm-hmm. How are you're on a farm with alpacas that you kill for meat eventually. How are you not well versed in what blood is and having it on you?
Yeah, there's no way those alpacas just don't stink either. Like
that's
got to churn your stomach.
They must smell horrible. He's not using them for their fur, their wool, which means they probably go unshorn for a good amount of time.
Oh yeah, and they just stink like sweat and fear.
You're picking up dingleberries, pulling them out of fur like you have bison. Like once a week, probably.
A little blood. I could maybe she was a vegetarian, but she was eating that meat stew like everybody else was.
I mean, she wasn't a fan of it, but okay, she likes McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
No, man.
Hell yeah.
At what point in your life, from childhood to adulthood, was McDonald's just idly and legitimately delicious. It's accolade food when you're a kid. That's a treat that you get. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm getting McDonald's. I'm going to tell all my friends that I have McDonald's and rub it in their fucking face, but not literally because I want to eat it. And then when you're an adult, it's either drunk food or depression food. Those are the two options. Anybody who eats McDonald's over the age of 30 is either having a bad day or wasted.
I had it 3 times last week.
Yeah, you sure did.
For lunch.
And my coworker Tim opened up the passenger door of his. It's not a lunchtime food either.
It is.
It isn't. That's the middle of the day. You want to disappoint yourself already?
Yeah, I do. I'm in a hurry. That's the problem.
Oh, there's so many better options.
There is not.
McDonald's. I don't even think there's food in there, and she knows that, but she still eats it, which I hated. You and Tim, dude. So he opened the fucking passenger door to his RAV on Friday to try and get a compressor out so I could inflate my flat tire, which is still flat, by the way. And it was just bags, McDonald's bags right on the floor.
It's a healthy man. I don't know what to tell you.
It's funny because he's an extremely healthy man. I don't know how the fuck he could juggle both.
It's the McDonald's.
So when she gets nauseous from the blood that she's probably seen like 4 or 5 times that week alone, she goes and throws up in the toilet, pulls her hair back way too late.
Oh yeah,
you get to watch that hair go right into the dirty toilet.
Yeah, also vomit right in there too.
Yeah.
Or, whatever she spits up.
Likely remnants of shit. Nicolas Cage looks like he takes big shits.
I will say, however, right before she throws up, the color does do some things.
It does.
It like, I don't know what it does with the time, but the time goes by.
Time bends around it.
And that probably churns some tummies too. You know, it's never happened to me. I've never thrown up, so never thrown up ever. I would never throw up.
I find that, as a matter of fact, know that to be false, but from experience.
I threw up the other day. I threw up 3 times last week. No,
it was the McDonald's. You'll notice the numbers are the same.
There's no correlation here.
I sense one.
McDonald's, like, I think McDonald's is great, and I'm gonna continue to eat it, and I'm just gonna feel really good about myself. Thank you for attacking my person.
No worries. To each their own. If you're going to talk about McDonald's with me, I'm going to make it known that it's gross.
It's not.
It sure is. You got like a Harvey's probably right across the street. You could just go there. You got that fucking Kong Kong Bing hot dog place right down the street at Richmond and fucking cross street that I don't know. And I would like to try it. It's Asian corn dogs. And I realize that the way that I said the name sounds racist, but it is strikingly close to what it's actually called.
Yeah, I just say the hot dog place because I don't want to even try and pronounce it.
Kong Chung corn dog. I swear to God, that's what it is.
It's very close. It's very close to that. This movie inspired me because I was high. I smoked something called Blue Iguana.
Nice.
And it inspired me to write 2 haikus.
No, okay. Now we're talking.
I want you to pick which one's better.
They're really haikus.
They really are. For real. Because I was high while I wrote.
Yeah. Okay. So I was making a pun.
I wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah.
That you did that.
I did.
You did.
I did it deliberately.
Damn.
In order for you to enjoy it.
And I did.
Okay, sick.
All right. Alpacas get milked. Space stuff in the well goes wild. Nick Cage full of rage.
Nice. Haikus don't traditionally rhyme. That's sort of the point. You're telling a story, but you got there.
There's that one. In the dark of night, getting intimate with wife. Nick Cage blasts livestock.
It sounds like they were involved in the act. I think you did that on purpose.
I wrote it the way it felt.
Child actors only work well in extremely limited doses. I was happy with the small amount of Jack we had to deal with.
Yes, they found a way to keep him in the movie while not needing him at all.
Mm-hmm. The other 2 are not children, and they do a much better job. And this is also worth noting. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to forever be impressed by both of the older siblings for being able to maintain a straight face around Nicolas Cage when he's doing anything at all.
Oh, for real.
I don't know how you can have like what's supposed to be like a father-daughter argument with that, and it's doing what it's doing, and you don't fucking laugh so hard. That's 13 takes for me.
Yeah, for real. I would have to be like, just don't have me on set.
Yeah.
Don't have me on set.
We'll do a pickup shot of me talking to him later because you're going to run out of film.
Put a wig on a volleyball and put that in the shot from the back of my head. I'm going to be chuckling over here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Really, the only way to get through a Nick Cage movie for me would be to laugh so much at his lines that I begin to hate him and then funnel that.
There you go. That might have been what happened. that literally might have been what happened. Yeah, because like even when he was doing that, do me a favor and get out of my sight. No, I'll do you a favor and I'll get out of yours.
I'll get the fuck out of yours.
Yeah. That's like that was a perfect impression of what he did right there.
I tried this morning as I was rewatching the film to at least get a decent impression of that accent down, and it's weirdly difficult. It's nowhere near perfect, but it's like his OUs for some it's got a very unique sound. So good on him for just creating a dialect out of nowhere. I don't know how the fuck. Real.
And also, he also knew what a dog smelled like after it had been lit on fire. It was, I don't know. He just, that's how he described the smell.
Yeah. Of the meteorite when he's like there.
That's just a very specific thing. You had to already have known what it smelled like.
It gets worse, which is something that I remembered after you mentioned it, the cancer thing with his wife. Mm-hmm. They're in the bedroom and he's describing the smell again. Yeah. And the things that he says are, first of all, much worse than a dog on fire. The cancer smell, death, decomposition, disinfectant. And then he goes, you'd know all about that smell.
Oh, he does.
To his fucking wife.
Yeah, he does say that, doesn't he?
Who's, by all intents and purposes, recovering from cancer. Jeez Louise.
Yep.
They're a pair.
They really are.
We got slut shame mom, and we got just disrespectful dad.
Disrespectful dad. Fucking rub a little whiskey on it. It's just a rash.
Dude, if you're out here rubbing whiskey on rashes, I got some information for you that should be considered basic science. Alcohol is going to dry your skin right the fuck out.
That's the whole time. I was like, how does that not sting?
Yeah. Well, he's got like open sores as well. Ugh. There's no way that he cared. Yeah. But it's going to do the opposite. Get some aloe on that shit.
Yeah, for real, everybody. If you're here and you're just like, I'm just going to rub a little vodka on that or whatever, like a little gin will get it in. No, you gotta use a proper disinfectant.
Something.
Don't even use like rubbing alcohol. That's not.
No, it's just gonna make the rash worse for sure. It's a skin irritant.
Ugh.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And also, I learned, and this is a bit of an offshoot, but as a disinfectant for cuts, it's not a good idea to use rubbing alcohol either, because apparently the acidity burns off the new skin cells. So it'll actually take longer to heal.
Exactly.
So your rash ain't going anywhere, Nick. Also, that's a waste of good bourbon from Texas? What did he say?
Yeah, from Texas. I do like a bourbon from Texas all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Every 4 or 5 drinks nightly.
Oh, yeah, and then he's like, I should have grown barley. Right, Dad?
To be honest, I like barley. You make a good soup out of that, so I wouldn't have complained. Sure beats the fuck out of raising alpacas. Who chooses that as a farm animal? And he says they're the future.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
He's preparing for society to collapse.
Yeah.
So he's got milk, meat, and then like stuff to make clothes out of.
Yeah. And Lavinia actually had a good point there, which is that the Mayans were dead, and that's what the fuck he was like. The Mayans knew about these alpacas. Yeah, they also murdered each other and ripped their hearts out.
It actually wasn't the Mayans at all.
Was it not?
No.
Oh, good.
It was like the Incas.
Great.
Yeah.
So he's retarded.
Yeah, he's just being racist.
Oh, they're all the same. Old Browns? Come on.
Oh, my God.
That's why he didn't like fucking Ward when he showed up.
For real.
Why are dogs always murdered for being protective?
That's a good question. Yeah, that dog ran off and started whimpering, and then you don't see the dog ever again, which is probably for the best. I don't think I wanted to see a melty dog.
No, nobody does. But that's like, for some, I don't know what kind of weird thematic punishment that is. All the time, dogs are like, well, I just got to keep my family safe. I'm dead.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with dogs. They always be barking. So
that is true, and it does get annoying.
Say I lived in the middle of nowhere, and all I heard was a dog bark. I'd come out of my well and melt a dog or two.
I'm just trying to get some sleep. It's nighttime.
For real.
I can't be out during the day.
Got to do a lot of color shit. Yeah. Do you want to give it a rating out of 10 then?
Rating out of 10. I'm gonna give this one a 7.
7. Okay.
I would consider it to be an above average movie. As much as I like the slow push in, which is like a film way of establishing dread, where they have a shot and they're like slowly advancing toward the characters in it, which is like, okay, something's coming for you. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the time some shit would happen right after a shot like that. So there's like that whole like thematic shit. I did find it at times in the first 2/3 to be a little bit slow for my liking.
Okay.
I was annoyed by some of the family dynamic, but overall, quite impressed with it.
Okay.
I'm just a hard judge.
Yeah, that's fair. We got Nicolas Cage going wild.
Yeah.
Automatically gives it just a boost in points for me. You got those alpacas being melted together.
Yeah.
And then you got, of course, the mommy monster, the mommy melter. That automatically boosts because like that's what I like. I like the monster like that was a person, ain't no more.
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of oh god, what was that anime about alchemy? You know the one I'm talking about.
Well, there's a couple.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, there's that one.
Yeah, with the dog and the daughter.
I thought you were gonna go Akira.
No, I've never seen that one.
Oh well, a lot of similar things happen here.
Okay. Well, this one in particular, it's got the daughter and the dog being melded together.
I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist because, unfortunately, I was probably about 20 when people started caring about it, and that's too old for me to care about Full Metal Alchemist.
That's fair. Just know a dude melts a dog to a daughter, and he calls it a homunculus or something like that.
Ah, a homunculus, which is if you look that up online, you're going to find an image of a naked human being that is representative of how we perceive ourselves based on our own senses.
See, I was thinking it was you were going to see like the dude who like nutted into the egg. And you've not seen that? It's
I know about it, but no, I don't think I have.
It's like a Russian dude, and he like apparently injects a bit of his semen into like some egg, it's like a chicken egg or something, and then like it grows into a thing. But it's
I can't tell you how much I dislike that. I thought this was a real thing.
Like it looks like it's supposed to be a real thing, but then he's like, next update. Here's another update, and it just ends up looking like a bad CGI thing.
Yeah, that was really upsetting to hear about until that.
Yeah. The whole thing's pretty upsetting. And that's the internet for you.
Yeah, it's true.
People will be like, "What's the most upsetting thing? Let's melt fucking alpacas together and then blast them away with a shotgun. Let's do it."
I wish the cat was better.
The cat could use more cat. Yeah.
I was disappointed by the cat. I was disappointed by the praying mantis. And then there was one alpaca shot that was clearly CGI, and I was a little bit upset about it. But as I said at the beginning, the practical effects, I would argue, made up for the lack thereof in other scenes.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I said 7, but I almost want to go 8 just because of Nicolas Cage's performance near the end.
I'm telling you, man.
He does that thing where like the fucking Fortnite tornado's happening and he just gets up and starts wobbling toward Ward Phillips in the weirdest imaginable way.
See, I'm giving it 8.5. It's not
we'll do 0.5s?
Yeah, I'm doing 0.5s.
I'll go 7.5 then. 7.5? There we go.
I liked the mommy melter. I liked the part where he just like
keep calling it the fucking mommy melter,
he
dude.
puts the gun to like the head of the son, and it's just like, no,
daddy,
just blast. Though that's not my family, and then he just leaves the room.
That is what happens.
Oh my god, that just like those kinds of things. Like I really liked the thing from that. Just like the spider head and like body parts coming apart and being other things. Love that. That's terrifying. Disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
First time I saw that, I lost my mind. When they just like pick up and flop the mommy onto the couch, and it's just like
they sure do flop her onto the couch, like, don't they?
Why are they making that sound?
Yeah. Look at it.
They're trying to breathe. I don't know. I don't have to tell you.
That's it.
So yeah, but just because of all that, like it hit a lot of spots that I really enjoyed. So I'm 8.5. It's not. Had that color been like a spooky gray alien that looked really smooth, I'd been like 10.
Yeah,
Nah,
right away.
No, JK, 9. But yeah, no, 8.5 for me. Love that movie.
I will say I'll appreciate, because this doesn't happen all that often, but there being that unexplained scary thing that it doesn't have like a description within the realm of reality.
Yes,
because it like lets you sort of create a background for it, or like your own interpretation of it. So there is that, as opposed to just a gray alien, which I've seen plenty of.
Hey man, I don't see those movies. I always see like the vague, slimy monster with tentacles.
Yeah. Did I send you the fucking trailer for Jordan Peele's new movie?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I saw that there's a little fist bump in that trailer.
Yeah.
Like a weird little fist bump. I don't know if that's supposed to be a fist bump, but it looked like a fist bump.
There was that. There's a couple like weirdness things in it. But I watched it and my first thought was, Matt's going to watch this shit.
I am.
Because it's fucking aliens.
I'm going to love it.
It looks good.
Oh, I'm going to love that shit.
Yeah. Plus, it got the fucking same guy from Get Out in it, and that guy just acts well.
I'm down for movies where, like, I don't mind seeing people I know. Nicolas Cage is a familiar face. Love it. But when it's people who are, like, new that I've not seen in movies 100 times, it's always better.
Yeah. Because there's a familiarity, but it's still, like, you're learning what they can do, sort of.
Yeah, like, okay, the Shining, you got fucking... you got that guy, what's his name? Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
He's running around with an axe.
Yeah.
That's cool, but I've also seen Jack Nicholson in 100 other movies.
None of which were horror movies.
Yeah.
From memory. Not too many of those.
No.
About Schmidt, he's just a disheveled old man.
Yeah. I can't think of any others that aren't One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So.
I mean, that's a good one. There's this, I'm never going to remember the name of it, but a biker movie where he joins a biker gang, and I'm not sure if it's the Hells Angels or what, but regardless, he's a car mechanic at the beginning, and he's pumping gas for someone or something, or checking their oil, and he gets into an argument with them, and he takes the dipstick, and the driver's side door is open, and he grabs the guy by the collar, and he shoves the dipstick into his face and goes, "You're down a quart." And then the guy gets out to try and fight him, and Jack Nicholson just screams in his face so hard and loud that he gets back into his car and leaves. And it's like the best altercation ever.
Okay. Jesus. I thought the dipstick was going to like go in his body somehow.
No.
Or something. But
things like that happen later, but
it's much better that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to pick the next movie? It's your turn to pick.
I would like to. And this is something that I've been thinking about since before I showed up today. And I'm having a tough ass time this time. I'm coming up with something. So let me just go through. What the fuck? I'll just drop my phone.
Just whipped his phone at the ground.
Yeah, fuck this phone.
Just like didn't even care.
I don't give a shit about this phone. It's so slow, which is why I hate things.
You going through like a list of movies on there?
I am.
Okay.
And I think I know roughly what I'm interested in watching here. And I would like it to be something on Netflix just so that it's easier for you to actually view. You know what? See, I was going to go Cabin in the Woods, but we already did Cabin Fever. That's tough. Cabin in the Woods is an interesting one because there's a lot to unpack there.
There is. I got a lot to say about that movie too.
You know what? Fuck it. Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And the only role where he tries ever. So we'll see.
What?
And also, the black guy is Dr. Avery from Grey's Anatomy.
Well, there you go. All right, Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, man.
Go search it up. Go watch it. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to end the podcast with? You got any last words?
I gotta pee.
It's recording.
Okay. Matt has informed me that I'm supposed to shout out. And yeah, there's two options with this name. It's either Jelena or Jelena. I can never remember which. But on the old Patreon there. So there's your shout out. Enjoy that.